Hey guys, this is Grant Coombs III coming back to you for another video from CardRunners.com. In this video, we're actually just going to be reviewing a bunch of the hands that gave me difficulty while I was out in Vegas. So let's jump into it. Okay, in our next hand, make a really standard call here on the button with King Queen. Definitely not going to be unexpected that I get squeezed in this spot, but my hand is strong enough where I think I can call squeezes from aggressive players, and I can either back raise or fold against some of the tighter players. In this case, I think it becomes a pretty standard spot where I just need to call. Not going to be super thrilled about it here, but the odds are good enough, and most importantly, I have direct position or relative position on the 3-better, and I'm going to be acting last, so I can garner a lot of information. Finally, I think that it's rather unexpected that I have a king here, so I can use that to my advantage too. Flop comes 9-8-5, and this is a spot where I think that the pre-flop raiser is going to play pretty straightforward, and once he checks, really I'm only worried about the villain sticking on. I expect the villain with any of his really big hands to certainly bet, and when he checks, I don't necessarily expect to take it down on the flop against the caller, but against the pre-flop raiser it would be quite surprising if he opted to do anything but fold. Which is exactly what he does. I think I can certainly make a call with make a smaller than average bet size here. What this allows me to do is to either shove turn or make another small bet on the turn, thus probably putting it in their minds that I'm ready to shove the river as well. I like my bet size a lot, by the way. And it is critical in 3-bet pots to mix it up between doing anywhere between betting 20%, 15% of pot to betting 80-85% of pot. So it's really critical they can do both of these and to maneuver around ranges and board textures. Once the pre-flop raiser calls, immediately warning signs are going off in my head. I'm thinking that even with the smaller bet size, ace-king I think is going to toss it almost 100% of the time because this hits both of our ranges, both calling ranges quite well. And therefore, I think that when he checks, particularly on this wet board, he's going to have a lot of aces and kings here. That doesn't exactly know how to proceed against two players, but is not willing to fold. With that said, and understanding the amount of money that's in there, I think when I shove here, unfortunately, it's going to look like, if not bluffs, it's going to look a lot like one pair hand and draws and hands like that. So I really am forced to check back here on the turn. On the river, I think a lot of players would be perfectly happy with taking showdown here with top pair, particularly in a spot where I'm not super happy about calling king queen originally anyway in a 3-bet pot, and understanding that while he certainly can have some aces and kings, his hand's confusing and would be like, oh, maybe some people wouldn't really know how to proceed. But I think this is a really clear shove for a couple of different reasons. The first of which is just a GTO, I'm at the bottom of my range sort of idea here. I can't really think of something that I'd have that's worse here. I might call 7s and 6s. Actually, I would call 7s and 6s, so there's 2 of them. But with that said, king queen is just about at the very bottom of my range here. So therefore, I have so little bluffs that it's going to be immediately profitable for that reason. Additionally, I just go back to my pre-flop and my flop, and most importantly, my flop read is that I think he has a lot of aces and kings here that he's going to be extremely hard pressed to call here. And finally, I just don't think that a lot of players turn top pairs into bluffs nearly enough, and therefore I think this is rather unexpected, and he would expect me to check back ace queen and king queen, which I would be shoving both of them. So ace queen may be a little bit less than king queen, but I think it's a shove for both hands. And I did, and he folded, and I feel pretty confident in saying that he almost certainly folded aces or kings.